friends, it's time for Cake Over Keto, your non-diet podcast that stands up against diet culture so you can eat the goddamn cake without anxiety and guilt. I am Mel Wakeman, registered nutritionist, intuitive eating practitioner, non-diet counsellor and lover of cake. I specialise in disordered eating and recovering from chronic dieting, weight and body image concerns, all through a weight-inclusive lens. Cake Over Keto is a fortnightly slice of food and body truth with dollops of compassion and sprinkles of salvation. I am here to provide a safe, healing space for those on their way to food and body freedom. So I may mention weight, I may mention calories and the O word, but there will always be context. Just please be mindful if you are triggered by these. Let's get that kettle on and find somewhere comfy to sit with me for 20-ish minutes of food for thought. And while the kettle boils, if you'd like to get in touch, please do. You can find me on Instagram at cakeoverketo, or you can email me at mel@wakemannutrition.com. But don't go too far, for what's coming up in this episode is right around the corner. So in this episode, I want to talk about self-worth and how we create beliefs that imply our bodies are not good enough. Whether that's because folks say we are too much or not enough, we can ultimately look to meet other people's expectations rather than developing our sense of self, trust, and confidence. Because we weren't born hating our bodies or parts of our body. We are conditioned to do this. So if the story you've been telling yourself says your self-worth is linked to how your body looks or works, we need to find ways for you to undo that link. Your belief does not have to be your truth anymore. You can learn to accept your body as it is in places that tell you that you don't fit. And whilst we cannot change the world just yet, we can change how we think about our bodies and start working on kindness. So that's what we're going to do right now. At the end, I'll dip into my pick and mix where I'll share some retorts, things that you can say and make your own to help you navigate when other folks step over the line and comment on your body or what you're eating, which has an influence on how you feel about your body. So stay tuned. Whether it's family messages, societal expectations, or insults you've been on the receiving end of, you've likely learned some beliefs about the meaning of the way that you look in your life. Now, everyone has beliefs and assumptions linked to all kinds of things like love and relationships, success and failures. And many will have assumptions that direct how you think about your own physical characteristics. So we're going to call these appearance assumptions. They are your core beliefs that you hold deep within you about the relevance of you in this world and the influence of your looks in your life. They determine how you interpret reality. They operate like templates that influence what you pay attention to and how you think about yourself. Created and shaped by the people in your world and the environment that you live in. So when folks say, "You look so good when you make an effort," or "Wow, you look amazing. Have you lost weight?" As much as these are said to compliment, yeah, I know, they can cause real pain and harm. I remember the exact words of, "Are you a boy or a girl?" said to me when I was about 7, I think, stuck in a treehouse with some older kids, strangers, a little older than me, who seemed to feel it was okay to ask me that. And maybe on the outside, what is wrong with that? You know, maybe it's a genuine question. Gender identity was extremely binary in the 1980s, and I had no t-shirt on. I had short hair. My body went straight up and down. But yeah, it kind of made me feel like there was something wrong. Then later came Here Comes Thunder Thighs, which really made me question myself. These words directly injecting discomfort into being in my own body. So hell yes, words can absolutely hurt and they can cut deep. Like when folk are fat shamed. And fat shaming is the unjust mistreatment of fat people, which may manifest as acts of bullying, singling out, discrimination, disrespecting, and or making fun of a person in a larger body. And it's the result of an individual bias against people who are deemed unhealthy, unattractive, stupid, lazy, or lacking in self-control or willpower. It's a faulty interpretation based solely on a person's appearance that says fatness is bad or morally wrong. And if heard often enough, those words that view differences as defects or flaws can be internalized. They are taken as truth and used to create a set of false beliefs. But these assumptions become so much part of you that you cease to be aware of them. They are mistruths that you mindlessly take for granted. Mistruths that say your worth as a person depends on how you look. Before I share some examples of these mistruths, I want you to consider for a moment, what do you like about yourself? There you go. I wonder how easy that will be. Now, what do you like about yourself that has nothing to do with your appearance? What qualities and characteristics do you possess that reflect your special individual worth? Things that perhaps your loved ones can probably roll off their tongue in buckets if you dare to ask them. And I dare you, go on. Why not? It's a very British thing not to ask for compliments, isn't it? But this is important. So maybe they might say, perhaps that your face lights up when you talk about music, that you radiate kindness, that you play a mean air guitar, that you make people feel like they matter, that you're so loving and give the best hugs, that your hair smells amazing, that you make others feel safe, that you're such fun to talk to, that you're as genuine as they come. Do you get the idea? Seriously, do this exercise. Make a list of at least 10 things. And yeah, ask for help if you need it. And I want you to use this list in a minute. Because what you believe defines your self-worth is often at the root of body image problems that many folk have. Your beliefs assert your physical appearance as the only or the most crucial aspect of everything that you are. So you believe you are defined by your looks more than by all the assets of your personality, your actions, or your experiences. And this can lead you to minimizing your many wonderful qualities that have nothing to do with your looks. So to challenge these mistruths and these beliefs that lower your self-worth, use that list, the list of 10 things that shows all the aspects of yourself that really represent who you are, your attributes, the people who know you really value. Read them every day and add to them. Set the intention to make that list into 20 or 30 or 40 things. And let's create a new inner voice and a new belief that says, instead of what I look like, it's really my caring attitude, my devotion to my family, my dependability. Insert X number of qualities in this sentence. It's those things that reflect my special worth. Here's another belief we can hold. If I could look how I wanted, my life would be better and I would be happier. Which translates to, unless I can look the way I want to, which could be taller or thinner or with a flatter tummy or more toned or less wrinkled, there's no way I can be happy. But what makes you unhappy really isn't your physical appearance. And I know it can feel like it is, and there are lots of attachments to it. But in the last episode, which was about letting go of wanting to lose weight, I touched on this. I said, beneath the desire to want to change your body, your core reasons will be about wanting to feel nurtured and loved, to feel valued, to feel accepted. And even deeper than that, if you've attached your self-worth to love and relationships and what people think and what you have and how healthy you feel, it can be really difficult. It's why we can pursue going down clothes sizes or getting back to a certain clothes size, but never actually being happy when you're there. Your beliefs are selling you short and robbing you of self-acceptance. So let's challenge this belief. And remember this scientifically established truth. Physically attractive people, and that's obviously kind of in the eye of the beholder and all that sort of stuff, they are not necessarily happier than less attractive people. For what society deems as good looking, body image issues do not discriminate. Have you ever had experiences in which the more desperately you wanted something, the less you appreciated what you had? So to justify your wishing for the new you, you have to berate the old you. Or your need to improve can destroy your ability to enjoy what you have. Wishing you look different only magnifies your discontent. So let's shift this narrative by shifting your goal. What if you desired a better body image rather than a different body? What if you said to yourself, I realize my appearance doesn't prevent me from being happy. I do know this. I make myself unhappy when trying not to be myself. I cause myself despair by beating myself up for my desires not coming true. But once I learn to accept my body, my life will be much happier. And that's up to me, not my body. Here's one more belief for the road. I worry what others might think of me. That the first thing they will notice is X insert body image issue that worries you, or something that's different about you. And you know what? Maybe there's a partial truth in here. Because heads would probably turn if you had like long raspberry pink hair, a giant nose ring, or a spider tattooed on your face. But then having those, you might want others to take notice of you. But what about the physical characteristics that are not of your choosing? And I'm thinking about body shape and size. Now, it's the reality of human nature that few folks will fail to notice a person living in a very big body or someone with a pronounced physical disfigurement. We all notice what people look like. Kids are rather good at it, and as awkward as it can be, they will often stare because they've noticed, and that's probably maybe what happened to me when I was 7, because I was really tall age 7. So is that so bad? I know I was told it's rude to stare, but just because folk are aware of others, it doesn't mean they'll judge or criticize. So yes, you may have lived experience of that, but again, can we shift the narrative to one that serves you? I didn't have those skills age 7, why would we? No one teaches us that stuff then. So your personality, your friendliness, good humour, kindness and so forth is much more influential than whatever might be wrong with your looks. I mean, your friends are never going to think and say, I wish you were a smaller clothes size. You'd be so much more fun to hang out with. My favourite thing about you is your one chin. No, that's not going to happen. What is true here is that you are the one observing what you don't like about your appearance. And to be honest, most other people really couldn't care less. They've got other things to think about. Of course, if they too have a negative body image, they're probably busy being self-conscious and worrying that you will notice their physical imperfections. So what if you were conscious about keeping things in perspective? What if you said, so what if people notice that I'm heavier or I have solid calves or a scar on my chest? What difference does that really make? I'm a likable person. People tell me they like me because I'm insert qualities from exercise mentioned a few minutes ago and complete the sentence. Improving your self-worth requires compassion. Try to challenge your unkind thoughts and ideas about yourself with kindness. Focus on your qualities. Surround yourself with loving people that value and appreciate you. And set yourself some boundaries that honor you. So I hope this is helpful. We're going to round up in just a second with my pick and mix. I'll be back. Okay, folks, let's open up the pick and mix. This time it is a sweet selection of 15 retorts you can use to assert your boundaries when they have been breached or are at risk of being breached when folk judge or comment on your body or what you might be eating or are trying to get you involved in diet talk. Now, before I get to these, you can, of course, feel compassionate towards these folk who are likely to be struggling underneath, in my experience. You are also allowed to sit quietly in silence and say nothing and disagree with them in your own mind, with the understanding that their beliefs don't have to be yours too. But here's my selection. Number 1, I don't get involved in food or body shaming. Number 2, I've been working really hard at accepting my body, and this feels like criticism. Please, can we talk about something else? Number 3, I don't comment on things that aren't my business. Number 4, please don't talk about other people's bodies with me. I don't find it helpful at all, and it's just not respectful. Number 5, it sounds like you have a problem with someone being fat. Do you? Number 6, what's wrong with being fat? Number 7, I'm really sorry you feel that way about yourself. Number 8, I don't really want to hear everything that you're doing to avoid looking like me. Number 9, can we change the subject? I'm just not feeling this one. And you can talk about the weather or anything else. Number 10, I want to spend my time with you talking about more important and interesting things. What have you been watching or reading? And again, change the subject. Number 11, no more diet/body talk, please. And you can repeat this as necessary. And if you're kind of in the mood for it, accompany with your most serious of deadly steely looks. Number 12, laugh as if they made a joke. They'll probably get the hint of your sarcasm. Number 13, you could start a respect jar. If you're kind of on a weekend away or you're kind of contained with other people, it's a bit like a swear jar, but everyone puts in £1 for every time they express hatred of their own body or question somebody else's or participate in diet talk. Number 14, this was recommended to me by a very good colleague of mine. Stick your fingers in your ears and run around shouting, la, 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 I can't hear you. That's a different one. And number 15, walk away. Walk away if your request is not respected. And know that you do not need to convert others to body acceptance, body neutrality, accepting their own anti-fat bias in order to validate your own experience. Their approval is also not needed for you to be yourself. So that is it from me, friends, this time. Thank you so much for joining me. If you've liked what you've heard, please do subscribe so you don't miss what's coming up next in episode 8, which is about eating disorders and menopause. And if your podcast platform allows you to rate this podcast or leave a nice review, I will love you forever if you could do that for Cake Over Keto. As always, if you'd like to carry on the conversation, you can email me at mel@wakemannutrition.com or come find me over on Instagram at cakeoverketo or mel_wakeman_RNUTR. I would love to hear from you, your thoughts, questions, anything you like. Take care of yourselves and I will see you next time. Bye.
This has been a Monkey Pants Productions podcast.